Can you see me now? Because I'm seen. I can see myself. So if that would be weird, right? Yeah, we're good. Okay. All right, so let's do the check-in. How are you guys? How is everyone? If you want to ask me how I am, I don't want to lie. I am okay. I'm doing as well as anyone can in these days, you know. I want to talk a little bit about Jordana. I want to talk a little bit about what happened to this break for a month. I want to talk a little bit about the current state of the world, and for those that aren't American, the current state of the United States. Not so united right now. Doing well, scared about getting 18 students in my classroom tomorrow. Yeah, that would be, I understand. And then talking about what I felt my job was in all of this. So, yes, I love that support. You can do it, Disney teacher. You got this. Better days, best health-wise, dizzy a lot. I'm sorry, Carrie. Online school, exams, the world is going crazy. Yeah. So should I just jump right into it? Isolation in one small room. I've been better. Amy Lumsden. I had to go through a quarantine myself again. So yeah, something about doing it again. You think it's gonna get easier. You think you're gonna get better at like spending time alone by yourself, and then you realize it kind of just. It sucks just as much. You get better at dealing with it, yeah, I guess. But for me, it was just like, man, this just sucks. Like, I'm not really okay. My health is really bad. Okay, oh, I'm sorry. Meant to be studying for exams. I get it. Getting almost done with uni. Hey, congrats. Hope you're doing okay. It must be crazy living in the US. Thank you guys, I appreciate that. Sorry, I just got Donald Trump is planning a defiant last week as president. Oh. We won't talk about him too much right now. So, let's just dive right in for me. Just for a second. You know, you think you have battery. That's why it's always good to have books, because they can set stuff up. A little crooked? Yeah, that's not gonna work. Anyway, must be bored considering you can't waste time on Twitter anymore. It must be a lot of things. The sideways view was weird. Yeah, I bet. So let's just jump right in. The last time we spoke, I said we were going to take a month off of November and probably a month off and jump right back in. As many of you know, that is also when we started shooting Chicago Fire. And it was a lot. I apologize. So I got a little busy, and then honestly, I know a lot of us are dealing with this right now, but my mental health was just not there. I apologize. There was a lot going on, and I couldn't jump back in. I just was like, there was too much. I needed to take a break. So thank you for being patient. Thank you for anyone that's new. I appreciate everyone kind of checking in, and everyone that's new, welcome. But I'm gonna keep talking I'm gonna keep going forward now. So yeah, I just felt like everything was going everywhere, and I was like, I need to take a break. And then I figured the new year would be a great time, and then there was an insurrection in our country, in this country, an attempted coup, and I know you guys know how I feel about the Republic and freedom and whatnot. So this was a very strange week for a lot of people. I'm very interested to see what happens, both with Congress and the Senate, and then I think a lot of people aren't thinking of the fallout from this, what it's going to be like for the next few years. But it's been a lot. It was during this last time that I decided, I was like, you know what, here I am trying to take in things, read, and stay relaxed, and all of these other people are planning crazy shit. So, and I've honestly found it really hard to read. I was talking to a few people about this in our group. My mind hadn't been able to just focus on something, anything. I haven't been able to sit down and do anything for a long time. So, and when I finally recognized this loss of ability to kind of focus, I started remembering why I think reading is so important. You know? I think reading is so important for a list that has, a whole bunch of reasons, but one of them is because of the ability it has to relax you, to help you focus, and your brain to focus on things. So I decided I was missing and I was having a lot of trouble. So I said, why don't I come to my community and maybe you guys can help? And then I realized that's one of the reasons why we created this community together. Because it was a place for people like me who can have a hard time reading sometimes to find other people that will help inspire and push them and carry them through to stay accountable to their reading. Allowing that. So I hope it's okay that I'm coming to you guys now to help me get back into reading. Just as I may have with some of you, or our community may have. So, thank you guys. Thank you for making me believe that I could again. Thank you for making me feel like this is possible. I know that if I have you, I'll be able to read again, and then maybe the world will start to make more sense. So, thank you. Struggling so hard to focus, can't wait to join. Yes, so that's why we're here. Now, I haven't changed the order of the books, and I haven't added any new books yet. This period of time, to be honest, is definitely making me look past the few books that we've chosen already. I'm definitely, I'm just going to say this now. There's a book that I have in my book club my bookshelf back in LA called How Democracies Die. We're all going to read that. I posted it on my story before. So if you can find it in your language, great. I don't know if it's in a lot of languages. I just want all of us to read that book. Because I've had it and I've only read the first few chapters because I'll pick it back up. So at the end of whatever we've read, just know that that book is coming, How Democracies Die. So you guys know. But you have a lot of time to get that book, naturally. We're going to stick with what we've decided. So I hope that's cool with everyone too. Normally, as you know, I like to start off the year with a really hopeful and inspiring book, something that makes us think. But because of the pushback, I've decided I'll add another one in there in the middle as well. Yo to Michael, I'm so glad you asked, where can I find this reading list? I will be posting it right after this live. I've already got the pictures I want to use and everything. So, that's pretty exciting. God, it's like I had a whole plan of what I wanted to say and it's gone out. So, I took the list that we posted, but, so you guys know the first book is now holding up my iPad, so I won't pull it up, but it is In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. All right, so that's the first book that we will start reading tonight or today after this live. We'll read, I'm gonna have to. It's a little crooked. In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. Yeah, I got organized this season. Emily Hope's Putting. You know it. I did. So, In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. We're gonna read a little less than we normally do to start off. So instead of reading 100 pages, we're gonna read 75. 25 pages off, it's gonna be okay, but that's part 1 of the book. So you're gonna read up to part 2, Persons Unknown, which I'm really excited about. So it's not as much as we normally do. It's just part 1, the last to see them alive. Okay? The last to see them alive. So we're going to be reading that first part for next Sunday. Also, Rosende reads, I have to change Sundays now. As you know, Chicago Fire, with our shooting schedule, we shoot from Sunday to Thursday. So Sunday is no longer my weekend. I weekend Friday, Saturday. So I'll also... Did I not bring a pen? One second. Pen. Okay, so I'll also be posting a poll. Should we do Rosende Reads on Fridays or Saturdays? I feel like Saturdays are better. Most people, Saturday at some point, all of us can be there. Friday, some of us work, some of us might have school, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like Saturday will be a good day now, because Saturday is kind of like my Sunday now. So I'm going to post a poll for Friday or Saturday. I feel like it's going to be Saturday. But is it even worth? Yo, you noticed the parallels. Thank you. I'm getting back into it. Gotta stay focused. It's okay to change a day. Saturday, I'm seeing everyone say Saturdays, so I have a feeling that I shouldn't even put the poll and just make it Saturdays. We're just gonna go with Saturdays. We're gonna go with Saturdays. So now we'll be reading from Saturday to Saturday. We have a shorter passage to read for this first time, which is pretty exciting. The historical things about this book, I hope to have some information for you guys too, which is pretty cool. I also just wanted to get really honest with everybody, because I didn't want to get on here and be like, I've been great, I've been so productive, everything has worked. I have done absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I have spent hours a day glued to the television or trying to escape through video games. That is how I've tried to make sense of this. And so I want all of you guys to know, I feel totally cool with that being what I've done. And if any of you feel a similar lack of motivation or inability to focus, I'm right there with you. Where it's all good, but that's why I've decided we're gonna lean on each other, right? This is what we're here for. We're here to say, you know what? We're all kind of feeling the same way. Perhaps, maybe I can't do it alone, but I know if I have people, I have my friends helping me. Without games, we're walking the dog. Exactly. All my time with animals, training, there we go. So, if I didn't have working out, yeah. I mean, I haven't really even, I'm starting, as you saw the parallels, I'm starting to get back into it now, but it's been really hard. So, thank you for being there for me, and I'm here for you guys. So, we're getting back. This week, if all of us can just take a second, even if this second is in the shower and it's fleeting, a second to pick one goal that you have. Just one goal that you have for the next few months. Even if it's my goal is not to be too hard on myself. It's a very difficult goal. So, if your goal is to not be too hard on yourself, that's great. So let's each pick that goal. One of my goals was to start something, and that's why we have Rosende Reads, right? So I was like, okay, we did that. Now I'm gonna pick another one. My goal is to get my reading done. That's enough. I have 7 days to get 75 pages done. That's barely 12 pages a day. That's easy peasy. Happier is a hard goal, I find, because happier requires a lot of other things. But if it's to complete a task, will make you happy. I don't know if you guys know this too. I moved recently in Chicago. I don't have any furniture yet. I'm still in the process. So my goal is also to get furniture this month. Because I've been sitting in like my computer chair and I have my bed, but I don't have I don't have a couch yet. But I have a TV. So here we go. So my goal is to have consistent work, but that's really dependent on Boris reopening the schools. I guess that's more of a long-term goal, considering. There we go. Finally, news from you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm sorry I haven't said that. Things will get better. I'm tired of this narrative that things are getting crazier and worse. Like, no. Things are gonna get better. I do believe that. I do believe that. Am I the only one who doesn't have a goal? That's fine. If your goal is finding something that helps motivate you, that's a good enough goal. Finding something, even if it's writing 3 things down and not making a decision, just saying, I'm going to choose that in a little bit. But make sure you push yourself to come back to that and choose one. But yeah, I feel like this will help. Also, one person that has been very helpful to me, I don't know if he knows this because I haven't told him this, but his Instagram story always kind of makes me like, okay, today won't be as bad. Today you got this. Jordan, my friend Jordan Morella, one of the most positive forces in the world. If you have any trouble with motivation or talk to that guy, check him out on Instagram. He's been a blessing to have as a friend. So check that out. Also, I've been lucky that I've had Tessa. She's helped me a lot. That's all I really need, right? Small steps, exactly. Be kinder to myself. That's a big deal. Finished my certification, teach in the US. Woo! Moving back to the States in April. I think my culture shock is going to be hard. Reconnecting with positive groups is the goal for sure. Finish my master's degree. I can't study anymore. Take a mental break and then dive back in. You've got this. We're all fighting for you. Getting your master's degree, that's awesome. You can do this. It's not going to be easy, but I believe in you because that's an awesome goal. To be stronger. Okay. To be stronger, what does that mean? Because that's something I've tried. Like, what does it mean to be stronger? Does it mean that I lift more weight? Or does it mean that as many things that are trying to bring me down, I keep stepping forward, even if I'm upset about it? That's what I think stronger is. When it's like, discipline, I think, is similar in that sense where it's like, I really don't want to work out today, but it's my discipline muscle that's going to be like, you're going to work out today, even if you just go to the gym and stand there. That's going to count. So yeah, Twinkle to Blue. Oh, I like your name too. That's cool. Sign up for school again after 5 years and I have to pass 5 months of tests, but we go for it. Woo! Yes! Finishing my master's, trying to stay healthy and sane. I understand that. Food is always a solution. Hey, what about cooking something? What about if you try to learn to cook something that you love and have always wanted to learn how to cook? I did that early in the pandemic. I learned how to make meatloaf. But hey, I can make meatloaf now, and it's not bad. So why don't you find a dish that you're really excited to learn how to cook? Because then you can whip it out whenever. Yeah, thank you for asking, bringing us back to topic. We are starting In Cold Blood by Truman Capote, reading part 1 by Saturday. Start a workout routine and stick with it. There we go. So yeah, I just wanted to, getting up earlier in the morning, valiant goal. Spend less time on social media. For me, it's specifically on social media looking at the wrong things. I might actually even get it. What do you guys know about TikTok? Because my friend sent me one the other day, and I started doing the scroll, and I was like, oh my gosh, this actually seems like a pretty cool social media. I know nothing about it. Write your own book? Manny McCall, if there's anyone that can do it, it's you. You can definitely write your own book. I can't wait to read it. Maybe we'll read it as part of this book club. Not worrying, stressing about my studies. There we go. Hi, everyone. Role model to my son and mother he never had. Wow, that's a beautiful goal. My goal is to figure out what I can realistically do with my life and get a real job. Hey, it's a hard time for that, so be easy on yourself. Stop being a people pleaser. You know, Tessa told me about that. Not specifically. She was talking about that. She's like, in yoga, there's this idea of trying to be nice and kind to other people, but not forgetting that you yourself are a person. So like standing up for yourself doesn't mean you're breaking that, but it means you're being kind to yourself. And when I heard it like that, it made me kind of, oh, I've got to treat Alberto well too. You know, I don't know if that helps you. Can you show the font in your edition? The font is pretty small, I will say. It feels small in my edition. If you want to get an edition that has a bigger font, by all means, please. That's why 75 pages might actually still be around the same in my edition, but we'll see. Part 1 feels good. Tried cupcakes and it didn't turn out well. Didn't turn out well the first time. Am I drinking coffee? Oh yeah, definitely drinking coffee. Taking up painting again. Yes. Read and write more. Mushrooms with cheese. Ooh. I'm not a mushroom fan, but that sounded good. I'm not going to try to cook. Once set a microwave on fire, got banned from the kitchen. Yeah. Get TikTok? No, I don't know about that. All I do is TikTok. It's a rabbit hole, and I'm afraid I'm just going to be on my phone more than I normally am. Favorite Starbucks drink? I'm boring. I get a cappuccino. Make me through. I've learned a lot via TikTok too, which I think is crazy. But yeah, I had a whole plan of what I was going to say here, and then naturally we all just started hanging out, so I completely forgot it. Rosende reads TikTok, can you imagine? Pretty cool. Question, is anyone here new? Do we have any new members? Any members that are excited to read with us for the first time this year? Because that would be really cool. I introduce yourselves, get to know everyone. If you're like me, you probably wouldn't type in and say that you're new. You'd be like, I'm new, I'm not gonna post, so I totally get that. You stay quiet like I would. So don't think I'm like, hey, awesome, we got a new person, 2 new people. Nice to meet you guys, welcome. And don't worry, I wouldn't be the person to say I'm new. I would just smile and say, oh, there's other ones like me. So if you're like that, don't worry. Awesome, thank you, Courtney, for joining us in the reading. Awesome, Magic Girl. Where get to do that? I can't say that right, I'm sorry. Alice from Switzerland, hello. Hi, Helen. I'm new too. Great things take time. Well, welcome. This is so awesome. Very cool. Hello, Tessa. Welcome, new readers. Yes. All right, so should I just do a quick thing for the new readers? I'm going to do it. Hey, guys. I'm Alberto, and welcome to Rosende Reads. Here, we like to read and have an awesome community where we discuss new ideas, we discuss literature, and we discuss the books we're reading and what we're thinking about them. There are no wrong answers here. One of the things I like about literature is there's a lot of interpretation. And then we get to come and talk to those interpretations, talk about them together. I like to say, and I like to think, I know I'm bragging, but I think our community is really awesome, really welcoming, really wholesome, and we really are excited to have new minds to meld with. So thank you for being here. Our first book is In Cold Blood by Truman Capote, as I said before. We'll be reading part 1 by Saturday. Sometime this week, I will post on here saying, hey guys, Saturday we're meeting at this time. And at this time, we will all convene, having read our said pages, and we will discuss, talk about, things like what themes we're noticing, favorite quotes, what we're seeing going on, what do we think the author's trying to tell us. All of these really cool things that people tend to talk about when we talk about books. And all with the goal of becoming more creative, more curious, and more interested in other things. That's about it. It's pretty cool. We have a lot of fun. So, hey, congrats, A+, it's awesome. So, generally our lives are about an hour. Also, we do probably about an hour. This one's probably going to end in about 10-15 because we don't have a book to talk about yet. But yeah, we stopped last year, and we're going to take a little break. The break ended up being a little longer, but now we're back. Also because I felt like not reading for any longer was letting whatever force that is negative, was letting it win. And we do not let other things win lightly in Rosende Reads. We believe in the power of the indomitable human spirit. And we know that with the power of that and the power of community, anything is possible. So, I will post all meetings in PST for my mind, because I am terrible with time zones. Anyone that knows me will attest to that. But thankfully, this live will be posted and will be up for 24 hours after. I know that we have, if anyone wants to post the other Instagram, Twitter accounts, and YouTube accounts that follow Rosende Reads and post everything we post, that would be great too. If you guys want to start sharing, there are a lot of resources within the community that help us all drive forward. Even myself, I look at them frequently to say, what time did I say we were meeting and what books? I always go back to these communities, so they're there and they're the best. What else can I tell you? Also, if you're new and you think reading is exactly what this book club is for, literally, I would say I was always a reader, but it took me a while to love reading, if that makes sense. And it's been pretty cool to kind of fall in love with it again. And I'm looking forward to doing that one more time. Finally, I just want to thank all of you for the last few years and for moving forward. I think this book club will be a beautiful thing to have this coming year. And I really do feel it was important and is important. I noticed it was missing when we weren't reading. I'll save the live if I can. You guys know sometimes Instagram is really annoying and doesn't do that. But yes, I will save the live. I'm gonna look into this TikTok thing, because a book TikTok for Rosende Reads would be pretty cool. And we're going into our 4th year. Yeah, isn't that pretty cool? It's almost like we're getting a degree together. 4 years. It's pretty dope. Yes, you made it. Good. What else? Yeah, seriously, 4. Kind of crazy, right? Maddie, you stop with that talk right now. I'm looking at 30. You stop with that talk. I have less amount of time before I turn 30 than the amount of time we've been reading together. Yeah, that's scary. Book talk is a thing on TikTok. It's a thing? I need to find out this website. I feel like I'm starting to get missing. I need to start diving back in. It's 12 a.m. I apologize. What are we talking about today? Hi, Jojo. We're just kind of catching up. We're talking about how for next week what our reading is, and it will all be posted. Maddie, I got you. Just wait until 40. You stop that. You stop that right now. What else was I going to say? Okay, for anyone in the United States that is worried right now, we should be vigilant. But we have to have faith, and there is always hope. Right, what happens in the next few weeks will be very, very telling as to what this country and what people in power plan to do or say, or how they plan to stand against an attempted insurrection and this type of incitement of violence. That's all I really want to say on that right now, because we're still kind of waiting for a lot of information to come out. It's not good. I'll say that. What else? What else? Everyone that was at the con that I got to see and talk to, hello again, and thank you for coming. The cons have been a lot of fun also. If anyone hasn't done one, they don't really know what to expect. Pretty much kind of this. Except that the con you pay for it. But they're fun. I had a lot of fun, especially the most recent ones where we're doing, where we've done like cooler, different types of panels and whatnot. Like those have been really fun. But yeah. Our country's very weak now. But it is in moments of stress that we find that I think it's times like this that I think people really lean on each other, unfortunately. Movies and shows. I've watched The Office, I think, twice again. Like, The Office has been a huge thing for me. Also, I watched The Lord of the Rings for the first time. I know a lot of you are going to say, what? You've never seen it? I've never read it, and I've never seen it. I've read The Hobbit, but I've never seen it. I watched Lord of the Rings for the first time, and I know a lot of you are saying, oh my gosh, you probably loved it, and now you're going to be upset, and yes, I am. And I mean, obsessed, and yes, I am obsessed, and now I'm going to rewatch it like a million times, because I thought it was really awesome. So, be prepared for me to start making random Lord of the Rings quotes. And yes, for the first time, all three of them. My buddies and I did it over the course of like 3 nights, and it was a really cool thing. It took me so long, dude. It took me so long. I know. I told you guys, as a kid, I didn't like reading fantasy either as a child. The first fantasy series I read was Shadowhunters, I think. And it wasn't until then that I was like, oh, this is really cool stuff, and then started to really enjoy fantasy. But it wasn't until then. So, like, yeah, I missed out on a lot. I have to dive back in. I thought The Hobbit was cool, though. I thought it was really cool. What else have I seen recently? Because I wouldn't say I haven't been good. I have to think about this. Community, no, I haven't seen it. What? Chronicles of Narnia. I read like the first book in Chronicles of Narnia, but I didn't keep reading them. And I didn't really like fantasy as a kid. Harry Potter, I read, like, I don't say I read Harry Potter because in my school when I was a kid, they had this thing called accelerated reading, where for literature class, this was such crap. I'm sorry, I will comment on this frequently, because I was like, this was the worst way to get kids to read, because if you were like me, you didn't read, or you didn't like do this the right way. What they did is it was called accelerated reader, and you were supposed to read books on your own, and then you would go take a test on that book. If you passed, you'd get a certain amount of points, and those points, you'd have to have a certain amount to get a good grade in literature. So what kids would do is they'd read really long books like Harry Potter and get a lot of points in one book. Or you'd watch the movie. And then just... And I thought it was a really bad way to motivate people to read, because it was just like, you get anything? I don't know. I memorize things really quickly. Like, I can memorize something real fast. So things like that were not good for kids like me that were like, I could just memorize the answers and be fine. Or I could just blah, 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 and that'd be fine. It was just not cool. But because of that, I read like 1 or 2 of the Harry Potters out of order. And so that I would get my points. Which is kind of what our education system teaches. Like, you can just get the points and you'll be fine. Which is why in this community, that's not what we believe. We're like, yeah, the points are points, but like the understanding and looking past that, and then the asking of questions is the most important thing you'll get. So anyone that's new, we really love questions. There are no right or wrong answers, just more questions. Because I think that's how you start to see things. Percy Jackson, I read the first one, because Diego read all of them. So Diego actually read all of the Percy Jacksons. I don't know if people know that about him. But I read the first one, The Lightning Thief, and I thought it was awesome. I just didn't. And you're never too old to read Harry Potter, I agree. Maybe we'll do that one year. We'll just make one season a Harry Potter season where we just read all the Harry Potters. But, I like variety, and I like things that make us think and question, and things that I normally wouldn't read. So... Exactly. Yo, thank you guys for this. By the way, I missed this. Just so you guys know, I feel like we're hanging out again, and it feels real nice. Series of Unfortunate Events, for that same accelerated reader, I read, I think, one of them too. A TV show of Percy Jackson's coming out? That's pretty cool. What else can we talk about? Any other questions? Anything else that I'm missing? Because I spoke about the elections and turmoil happening in this country right now, and how it's like, okay, if you're not motivated or if you feel kind of lost because of it, help use this book club to kind of help you kind of break that door open again and start walking and standing up and then moving through it. That's what I'm doing, so it's okay. And then I brought up later on, this year, I brought up the books, I brought up what we're doing, I brought up how I was feeling. Yeah, anyone have any questions for me? I haven't read any poetry lately, but if you do, please. Ray Bradbury, he did The Sound and the Fury, right? Because that might be on the list at some point. I've been looking at it. How was my Christmas time? As a Canadian, you appreciate my PEI sweater? Yeah, because Tessa's in PEI right now, and I miss her, so I wear this sweater. Yeah, I love Canada. Favorite song at the moment? You know, it's an old song for me which actually, okay, PEI, full circle, you know the band Always that I bring up all the time? I played them. Well, they have one song called Party Police. That's like my favorite song right now. And then Always is actually from PEI. Oh, you're right. Faulkner. Faulkner is The Sound and the Fury. Thank you. Ray Bradbury. Bradbury did. We've read Ray Bradbury. Will someone just tell me what Bradbury did? Because I'm getting like mind. It's all jumping around. What advice do you have for voting age demographic 18 to 30 in terms of engaging with politics going forward after the U.S. elections? After this U.S. election? I think now more than ever, we need people that understand. Now more than ever, I think it's important for our demographic to be getting into politics. And I think especially holding our older demographics accountable to the rules that we all choose to follow. And that's one of the biggest things about a society and a republic, is that we know that there are rules that we all have to follow. And yes, that means when you lose, you say, oh, I lost. Congratulations, winner, and you just take it. But I think even more so what this time is teaching us is the lack of engaging in politics that the generations before us did allowed a lot of things to happen. And our generation isn't going to stand for that. We're going to push for diversity. We're going to push for equity. And we're going to push, and we have to keep moving that way. So anyone that is looking into politics, I salute you. I will support you. And I think it's an amazing thing. And I think even more so now, we have to see it as a duty, in the sense that we've seen what it is when people want to just enrich themselves and don't understand the responsibility that come with it. And I think we need to understand that responsibility. And anyone that wants to get into politics, I applaud. Because I don't like the idea that they're like, well, everyone that gets into politics, they get into it for the right reasons, but then I'm like, what is it within the system that allows the right reasons to become the wrong reasons? And what can we do about that? I don't know. I don't think I know enough, frankly. But anyone that wants to engage in politics, I think it's incredibly important. And anyone that says they can't or shouldn't engage in politics, I think privilege is speaking, because anytime politics politics affect everyone. And if they don't affect you, it means you must be a very privileged person. But yeah, if it's something you're interested in doing, I say go for it. I think that's awesome. We need leaders. We need people to look up to that are doing the right thing, especially when no one's looking. Not just when people are paying attention. And that's the true meaning of integrity. Let's read the Shadowhunter Chronicles. Any advice for opening dialogue with someone who has different beliefs? My husband and I are on different sides of the political spectrum. How do I voice how I feel? I think just to be completely honest, I know with I don't know how at certain points it's difficult to argue with, or not argue, to have a conversation with people that disagree with you there. And I know that's something we've talked about. And in our books we're going to read, they're going to be different tools that we can take. Like in the second book we're reading, So You Want to Talk About Race, I know that there are tools and entry points of conversations and ways in which we can handle them. So if you just stick around, maybe some of those will come up. I know I've had a few difficult conversations these past few months with different people, and it's very difficult because part of it is me trying to stay calm and say, wow, I recognize that you feel that the United States is spending too much money on foreign help. Cool. Now I'd like to argue, do you think that a tax cut for major corporations that could be spending money otherwhere, do you think that tax cut, and those corporations have been shown to have not used it properly, do you think that could have done anything differently? Like, I guess it's just continuing to ask questions and making sure they don't get away with it. Logic. Obama talks about that in his book, and we're going to talk about that. So we're all going to keep working on this, because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not the person. I've tried, and only a few of my political conversations have gone over well with the person I was trying to speak with. And sometimes it's ended where I don't think that person and I are going to talk again for a while. But I believe in what I say, and I believe in time what I say reveals itself more so. Oh, thank you, dude. I appreciate that. I've always, well, not always, it's been something I've worked on, but I've noticed with my own journeys, the more I talk about it, the less difficult it becomes to talk about. Like, a lot of you know I had testicular cancer, and at first a lot of people are like, whoa, I could never, whoa. But the more I talked about it, the more comfortable I got, and the more people want to ask me questions about it. And I've noticed that the more comfortable I am, it makes more people comfortable, because they're like, oh, normally I wouldn't tell someone that I was feeling really lonely, but that guy seems to feel comfortable telling people that, and maybe I can tell him. I'm not saying you should also go around telling everyone all of your business, but I think being the person you look for, being that person that's open, that person that's willing to listen, that person that's willing to question and sit there with you and not judge. If you're that person, I think more people are willing to open that door as well. It's back to that quote, be the change you want to see. And if you don't find anyone else, you can always come back to this community, because that's what we're here for. I tried to talk to somebody, but they, on my agenda, it's okay. There are two quotes I'm going to tell you. One is an Albert Einstein quote, and he's like, never argue with a stupid person, because at first they will bring you down to their level, and then they will beat you with experience. I think a lot of arguments, unfortunately, you just have to recognize, is this the person that's going to take me seriously? Having a conversation with someone you don't know at a bar about politics, I don't think is a good idea. Unless you've been having a conversation with that person for a while and you feel like, oh, we can talk, like, cool. But generally, there's a time and place. It's a willingness. Because if you have someone who knows they're right, then they're right. Like, there's nothing you can do. They're just going to be like, they don't get it. And that's fine. But if you feel as though that it's an actual conversation, if it's an actual questioning, how am I wrong? How are you right? Can you explain it to me? Then there's a different playing field when someone's trying to prove they're right, or someone's trying to find out how they could be wrong. Like, there's a different vibe, and I think It's to the individual and it's to the person you're speaking to that you have to say, this isn't the best time for me. And the second quote is, a wise person speaks because they have something to say, whereas a fool speaks because he has to say something. And I think there's a part of that. Choose wisdom. Only speak when you have something to say, not because you have to defend your point. I get like that, and I get very heated quickly. So I know I have to be really careful, especially when engaging in conversations like that. The person I always look to for that type of inspiration is actually Tessa. Tessa is brilliant at staying calm and also asking you questions. Oh, really? Interesting. So how does that work when you consider this? So can you explain to me why this happened? Oh, so you think that this type of thing is the same as this? Oh, why do you think it's not? But then how does that... Questions are kind of a good way. But it says, what can you expect from a pig but a grunt? Exactly. There's a line. There are people you know you can engage with, people you're comfortable with, like certain people in my family I know I can always have conversations with. Certain cousins, I love talking to them because we don't agree, but they always have information to back up, but they're never seeking to see if they're right. They're always seeking for the right answer, for the truth. And I think that always is somewhere in the middle. So, wow, how is COVID over here? We had over 300,000 new cases in Los Angeles yesterday alone. We're seeing spikes in a lot of our major cities. 48% of this country doesn't believe it's like a real thing. It's hard. It's interesting. Political conversations with strangers, it's really, really, really hard. So you kind of just have to, and I feel like what I do is I try to never take away their humanity. I never try to call them, like, you have to give them that. And that's something that I think is really hard. I mean, let's talk about what happened at the Capitol briefly. There are a certain percentage of people that went there with the actual thought. Think about this, what we would have to feel to do. Okay, part of being an actor is taking a circumstance that your character is in. And if you can't understand it, you have to understand, what would it take me to get there? So let's say it's someone takes the life of another person. What would it take Alberto to get there? Alberto never even wants to own a gun. Like, never wants to own a weapon, never wants any of that. So what would it take Alberto to go through the motions of purchasing a weapon, planning something like that, following through with it, and then not feeling remorse? That's a big deal. So if I'm playing a character that has a turn like that, I have to find out for myself what it would take for me to feel absolutely empowered by my decisions. So I try to think about that when I'm looking at what's happening at the Capitol. Because I think there's a percentage of them that went there planning what they were going to do, completely aware of what they were going to do, and wanted to hurt people. I think that. But I think there are other people that unfortunately were brainwashed, that actually think that their country is being lost, and they think they were true patriots. And that's the scary thing, is that they believe this. So you have to acknowledge that. And you have to say, how? Why do you believe this? What are you really afraid of? And if you find out, a lot of the time, that answer, you could do something else. Someone commented on, I posted a thing about how our country, the United States, has only given its people $1,800 throughout this entire pandemic. When there are some countries that's less than the monthly allowance. And someone commented about how, like, our country's giving money to other countries. And I'm like, well, that's in their... They just don't have an understanding of how our budget works and how the United States does that. And what that does for the rest of the world, in turn, helping the United States. They see it as like a selfless act. I'm like, well, let's remember it's the United States. The United States is not selfless. The United States always has its own interest in its hands. So even the people that are saying, we're the best, like, that believe it, there's not truth there. You have to find the middle. Anyway, we're going to get into like a whole bunch of talks that this is not about. But I think never forgetting that people are people and that you... The opening line of Leaves of Grass. The opening line of Leaves of Grass. I celebrate myself for what I assume, you shall assume. For every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. Within every person is the capability of becoming every person you see. It's just a matter of circumstance. It's a matter of nature versus nurture and how all of those things go into the walking chemistry set that is a human being. But everybody has the ability to be everybody else. And when you understand that, there's a lot of hope. And you can't let that die. I feel like hope is the strongest thing we have. I find that it's people who are open to broader understanding who are people to talk about too. Exactly. I work in retail and it's locked down my anxiety an all-time high. I feel the same way. Dealing with people daily who refuse to follow any of the rules. Discord server talk outside of our lives. I don't know about that. I will think about that. Thank you guys. No, thank you guys. We're going to be ending our talk in a few minutes. And I'm sorry I keep using the term guys. I'm going to work on that. It's in my vocabulary. I want to have something that's more inclusive. So I apologize for using a gendered term. I need to fix that. Niner girl, you made it! Y'all. Thing is, I'm from the South, so I don't want to say y'all. It's like my way of rebelling. Because I'm not really from the South. Anyone from South Florida knows they're not from the South. Even though we're the furthest south in the country. We just know we're not part of the South. So I could say y'all, but it feels unauthentic to me. I even would say you all before I would say y'all. I've said it before. I can use everyone. And I don't want to come with a weird word like buddies or something, you know. But I'm working on it. I promise. We will have one. Really quick advice. Want to be an actor someday? Yeah. Read. The more stories you can tell, and knowing how the stories are told in different ways, and then I think reading's great because you tend to put yourself in the middle of the action. Like, I don't know about you, but anytime I read a book, I like to pretend I know you guys know I haven't read Harry Potter, but if I read Harry Potter, I'd be putting myself in glasses and I'd be Harry Potter. Or I'd pick a character and that would be me whenever that character came up. Folks. I like folks. It just feels like, that's all, folks. It feels very older, but I do like folks. Readers. I could use readers. Readers is cool. I just like I'll find it. You don't have to worry about it. I'm working on it. Todos. Yeah, I like that too. Start using Spanglish. All right, well, readers. I have not seen Bridgerton yet. Sorry. Readers, thank you so much for this time. I feel rejuvenated, re-inspired, and reignited in my passion for learning and growth because of this conversation. So, thank all of you. To all of our new members, thank you. I fervently believe that having more minds to meld with will make us all better. I did just crunch my neck. Sorry. Will make us all better. And being able to recognize that opinions have people behind them. They're not just these violent things. It helps us too. So thank you for becoming a part of this. To all of our group members that have been with us since the beginning, thank you for coming back. We need you to keep inspiring and pushing us. We need you to help continue bringing new readers into our group, and we need you to help keep this flame going. So thank you. Now, to everyone in this group, I like to leave us all with a little message before we go, and that message is continue reading, continue being curious, continue questioning things. I'm adding a new one. Continue to stand up for what you believe in and feel complete power in that. You might feel wrong, you might be told you're wrong. But if at the end of the day, what you're fighting for is so that other people can continue to live in this wonderful environment, free of persecution, with a free voice and free speech and whatnot, you're okay. So, keep reading, keep questioning, keep being curious, and continue to be positive forces of change in your environment. We need them now more than ever. So thank you, and I will see you guys. I will see you all next week on Saturday. I will be posting the books. I'll be posting the pages and whatnot, and then I will also post like the rest of the stories, like the rest of the books we'll read that we have so far. So naturally, because Instagram hates me, it deleted our entire live. So welcome back, Rosende readers. We will be reading In Cold Blood by Truman Capote, the first 75 pages or part 1 by Saturday.